Ken Branagh, and I am the director of Belfast, and it's the story of a 9-year-old boy and his family at a moment in Belfast in the north of Ireland where their very happy lives are upturned by a very catastrophic event, and from that the story follows.
Yeah, and I'm Jamie Dornan, and I play Pa, who is the father to the 9-year-old boy that Ken's just mentioned, and very much trying to do the right thing for his family and guide them through this tumultuous time, and has their safety as his sort of paramount reasoning for decisions that are made.
It's really the story of something that happened to me when I was 9 years old, where after a sense that a happy life with a big extended family of the street in a very exciting place to live, where life was about playing football, family, meals, bit of church and lots of movies. How you dealt with life once, just as we felt all in the last 18 months or so, when your world is turned upside down by uncertainty. And the events that happened then were in many ways traumatic, but they were also very vivid, because amid all that tumultuousness that Jamie was talking about were lots of moments of intense pleasure, hysteria, humour, lots of humour. Belfast has a great, quick-witted, dark, ticklish kind of humour, and that runs right through this story. So somebody said to me when they saw the film the other day, they said that it was heartbreaking and heartwarming. And as I remember how the story sort of happened to me, that's how it felt also.
It's very much, a telling of events that really happened to Ken when he was a kid. So, all the characters are very much based on people who are part of Ken's life. So, I am playing a version of his own father. So, that brings with it a new set of stress, I think, but also a comfort and a sort of obligation to honour, somebody who has been such a massive part of Ken's life. Obviously, his father, and amazing to be able to ask him any question I like about what his father was really like, and how he would have responded in those situations. So, I felt very fortunate that Ken thought I was the right person to carry that on, and to take that role on. And it's for me personally. I imagine only once in my life will someone be making a movie about the town that I'm from, literally called Belfast, and to have it in the hands of someone like Ken is just a bit of a dream sort of package for me. So I don't think I've ever hesitated less in saying yes to a job. We probably feel like that's a particular thing, a Belfast man, and I think we all know what that means, and I guess the explanation for it is someone who's, like, if you're from Belfast, no matter what era you grew up in, you've been through something. You've been through a certain hardship, and you've been tested at many different stages of your life. I think no matter what era you've grown up in that city, and there's a resilience to men and women from Belfast, and there's a resilience and a humour and a sort of desire to do right for your family. It's a very family orientated place. It remains that to this day. People, really want to stay close to the family and do the right thing for the family. Like, less so now as people move around the world and make the decisions to go to university away and to work away, but everyone still is drawn home to Belfast, and we call it home. And it is that. It's a very particular thing of, like, the community around you meaning something, your family meaning something, and above all else, it's humour. It's like, smiling in the face of adversity, and I think that's sort of the embodiment of what a Belfast man is and what Pa is, certainly.
You want somebody who is a natural listener. I think that the film takes the point of view of a young person when they're at that moment of sort of maximum absorption of everything that's going on around them. So some of the tragic events, some of the violent or exciting events, trying to process those. Sometimes the only way he can process them is through references to movies, because that's where he sees bad guys and good guys and fights, and somehow it all works out. But the other thing that he listens to is from, you know, a much lower physical vantage point, is the lives of his mother and father, and he's looking to them. He's looking to his father particularly for guidance, some kind of, you know, way forward, how to deal with all of this change. Life is so much about dealing with change, and we needed a young man who was able to listen and be very, very present. And Jude Hill was that. He has natural energy. He has a natural sense of humour. We found him at a point where he's still very much in that case, 10-year-old boy who loves his football, which is equally important to him than all the fancy pants business of being in a film. So you trying to keep that naturalness was what was key, so that at all points, with all the acting, and they did a fantastic job, Jamie does a fantastic job in the picture, as everybody else does, of trying to offer up a sort of a happening, that you catch something, you catch some bit of life happening. And for all of us, in a way, the greatest example of the most likely possibility of that happening was the 9-year-old with less experience than all of us, but with this first time quality. You always want with acting to have it come out as though you've never said it before, and you feel that sometimes with child performers. Of course, you don't want them to be too precocious or get too carried away. Jude Hill was a marvellous balance of capacity to listen to his olders and betters in terms of their acting ability, but to refresh us with this totally natural listening presence that allowed us to see the film and the story and the events of the story unfold in his features. That's our guide, that's the audience's way into it. So that natural present quality was the key thing, and Jude has it. I think that certainly in my own life, trips to the movies were exceptional and wonderful. It was full of colour. It rained in Belfast a lot when I was growing up, so in a way that was perfect for our black and white treatment of a large part of the film, because in a way that's how Buddy saw it. Lots and lots of shades of grey and black and white, and the movies and television were places where a colour exploded and his mind exploded. And on the one occasion when he went to the theatre as well, the same thing happened. So we wanted literally to have the audience see the world the way Buddy sees it, but also sometimes from the physical vantage point. So we're often looking up at things. So mum and dad are having an argument and plates are flying across the kitchen. You're very aware of Buddy seeing it from the physically smaller place. And some of that, I think, encourages the audience to experience it a little more, to feel how unsteady it is, how hard it is to navigate. So it's also true that in a very sort of political situation, once you're definitively through the eyes of a 9-year-old, you're with someone who doesn't really understand what the concept of politics is. What he understands is that life was settled a moment ago, and now it is entirely unsettled. But all the same people are there. But now apparently you're not supposed to talk to some of them. That kind of confusion is what we try and somehow articulate with where the camera goes, the colour that we see it with, the physical height of the camera, the way it moves, all of it to reflect putting the audience in the boy's point of view.